Hey everybody, I am back with my finished wreath. I thought it would just take me a few minutes yesterday and I ended up spending, I don't even want to admit how many hours. It's sort of like you add a little bit here and then it needs a little something over there. And it's really, I'm very happy with it. I ended up, I wanted to let you know actually, I always hang them to see how they look from a distance and then adjust my colors. And like I said before, I like to do the color wheel, kind of moving from one color to the next, but you can do it however you want. It can just be a mixed up thing. This actually ends up having, you can see the back of it. It doesn't look too bad from the back. One of my goals is to make the back look as good as the front and to paint maybe the caps or something, but I don't think I'll ever do that, so you can. That's my idea for you. So here is the gorgeousness. I just want to take plenty of time to show it off because it took so long. I am really happy with it. I used my heat gun to manipulate the plastic a little bit, and also you can just pinch it and bend it to get it in place how you want. I'm going to show you the heat gun one more time. And then I had a couple other little tips for you too. So, for instance, let's see, if I wanted that piece that I just had, if I wanted it to move back, I can heat it from either direction, front or back, but the main thing is to hold it in place where you want it to stay and let it cool. Maybe I want it to stay a little bit further back, heat it up further down, not too much, hold it in place, and there it will stay. Maybe this piece I want to have move over that way, and I'm moving my heat gun out of the way so that I don't melt things unintentionally, and then it will stay where I want it to be. So that's the heat gun. I was going to show you one more cut and also show you after I do that cut how I attached extra ones. There were on that wreath, I really wanted my wreath fuller. I probably didn't have to make it quite this full, but that's just how I do things. And so I ended up using some wire to wire onto the wreath base, and I was going to show you how to do that. So the last cut is pretty similar, pretty much the same, sorry this isn't painted, as when we did the spiral cut that I showed you the last time. So I'm going to go, it's almost as though and this is how it even started. I had students that were going to do that spiral, but they cut a little too thick. And it was like, oh no, I cut it too thick. I'll show you. And when you cut the spirals, you do want to go, it'll bounce more the more you come close to the spout. So, oh no, I cut it too thick. But then if you go back, and this is kind of obvious, but it does look really pretty, so I thought I'd show you. Just cut it in half. And sometimes maybe this will even be thick enough to do a third piece. This one's kind of thin for this, but I'll do it just for show and tell. Then you get a nice little ribbon kind of a thing, almost like a little flower. It's kind of hard to see because I didn't paint this bottle. See if you can see that. And you can do so many things with these, not just wreaths. You can do a whole Christmas tree, you can do wine bottle stoppers, you can do garden towers, garden chandeliers, or you can do big installations like I've done in Michigan, Maryland, and in Florida. I wanted to show you too, I put my son's name on here. He's going to hopefully edit these so that there's only one YouTube. But I love it when I get bottles from a school and the student's name is on there. So don't worry about it, leave it on there. That's kind of part of the glory of it, or the fun, or the history. And as well, when you take the labels off, especially on the 2-liter bottles, if they don't come off all the way, then just paint over it. If it shows in the inside, then you paint over that, or just consider it a part of the variegation of the plant. It's not going to matter. This is such a not perfect thing. I love this one writer who said if it's perfect or nothing, you'll always get nothing. So the way that I wired them on, Of course, I showed you at the beginning that I had found these wonderful wreath bases. Maybe you can't find those. Maybe you can only find the wire one. Is to take and weave this into the spot that I wanted. And you may find a better way to do it. This is just how I did it, kind of any variety of ways. And then push it through, pick it up on the other side. Then when it comes up through the bottle, some stuff, that's what we say in France, some stuff. Then you just are going to fold it into place like this. And then hopefully catch it onto at least one of these onto the wire of the wreath and kind of clamp it down so that it's, and there's no glue, which I love because glue is a big hassle when it comes to plastic. Just know that ahead of time. Look for, if you're going to use glue, look for floral glue and read it and say that it says plastic to plastic or whatever, because I was going to show you this, which has a glue problem that I need to fix, but I made for a Kentucky Derby event, this fascinator, and in the middle is a rose that I created using the heat gun and a tutorial on making paper roses, but the glue is kind of coming all apart, so I need to get a better glue to glue it in place. And hot glue, then if this gets in the heat or you hit it with the heat gun, it comes loose, so glue is my enemy. I'm a jewelry designer too. That's how it all started. I make glass elements to put into my jewelry, and I wanted my students to get the experience of playing with glass, and here Dale Chihuly exhibited our art museum, so that's kind of how all this began. We did an acrylic ceiling that you could walk under with all the pieces that we had painted. So let's see, what was I going to say about, oh, another thing that you can do, I like it plain like this, but if you wanted to add floral picks, you could secure it with a floral, this is a floral pick from the craft store. You could, and get them on a wire. This one, the wire's been cut off because I used it for something else, but then you could wire it on like that. Here's another one. This is one that's available at Michael's during the holidays, which works really well because you have all these, we used to use these on the Christmas tree quite a lot. It has all these wires. So you would just put this through, and you could either use this to wire it, or you could use these to wire it. But now we just take the branch of the Christmas tree when we're doing an artificial tree. I try to avoid the lights because I don't know how warm they get. I don't think they get warm enough, but I used to be an insurance underwriter, so I think of all those things. So you just take the branch of the tree, fold it under, and that will hold your element in place. One thing I found when I was doing, and I was surprised by that, when I was doing the wreath, it really worked putting one bottle at a time and not nesting them. They looked better, and they kind of filled out the wreath prettier when I didn't put more than one on the branch. Here's some more kind of floral pieces. You can make ornaments out of these. To make a wine stopper, you have to get the right size cork, and I don't remember what that is, because you want a tapered cork, but it takes some effort, but you glue the base of one of the, well, you put a little bit of glue so this doesn't come out, into the spout, and then you nest, and you have to use glue with that project, which makes me not thrilled about it. And I had a list of things to tell you. That florals, oh, don't be worried about using green bottles because they turn out really beautifully. We one time put copper acrylic paint on a green bottle and it came out just this beautiful green metallic. And colors will do some interesting things. If you spray a green bottle with purple or something, you'll be surprised. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. The labels I told you don't worry about. And I think that is about it. I showed you that extra cut. I was thinking that this is kind of like stone soup because even though we're recycling, you keep having to add elements and your time, but I think it's pretty worth it. I love the idea of taking something that was considered worthless and elevating it to a place of art. So I hope you have as much fun with it as I do. I know that working with the public, with probably at this point thousands of people, there are always a few people who are really touched by the process, by taking something that's trash and turning it into art. So enjoy. Thank you. Bye-bye.